Oh my God!
So, what's going on, Cowboys fans? That was me, Sky, and Vosh during the draft process, the draft podcast, the draft coverage. And like those candid moments are dope because as much as we follow the team and make sense of picks and do these types of things, I think everybody who covers a team or gives information about a team is a fan. And we're just fans, and we had our guys that we may have wanted drafted at that time. So it was just a shock. But when you hear Brian Schottenheimer talk, he's given us a lot of answers. And the answers are going to make sense with this type of player that is Luke Schoonmaker. Now, Brian Schottenheimer was interviewed over the weekend. This is more minicamp stuff. And he's saying, listen, physicalness, I want to run the ball. You can see the things that he was able to do in Michigan. Matter of fact, let's listen to Brian Schottenheimer.
Yeah, really excited that we got Luke. The way it fell was great. I think when you look at him, he's the guy that we felt really could do everything, right? He can control the C gap in the run game. He's been well coached. He's real polished in the run game because of the way he was taught at Michigan, his strength, his lower body strength, his ability to fit combinations. But you don't realize how fast the guy is. I mean, he's a legit 4.58 guy, and I think there's some things that we're really excited about that he can bring us from a vertical standpoint of stretching the defense vertically.
I could see if this was just coach talk, but the stats do say that this is who Brian Schottenheimer wants to be. So let's take a deep dive into who Brian Schottenheimer was. He had a stint with the Jets, and his most recent stint was with Seattle. And he was not a bad coordinator. And you also heard him say something that I really like. Before we even talk about him, he also said something that I really like was Dallas doesn't have anything broken. We need to fix and tweak. Now, he's not going to be calling the plays, but he's going to have a huge role in design, install, and anybody who knows and who's been around offenses or been any type of coach, when you are hands-on, most play callers are going to lean to you for advice. I think that Mike McCarthy has earned the right to call plays. He was patient with Kellen Moore. A Kellen Moore who really, to be honest, outside of being a backup quarterback and his claim to fame was really just getting beat out by Dak, he never really earned the right to be a coordinator. You talk about Brian Schottenheimer, that the one thing that I know is staying with the Rams, staying with the Jets. He's been in the league. He's been around the league. His dad was a coach. He knows the game, right? And the truth of the matter is he is going to have a plan. Physical, run the ball, play action. And here goes some notes. All right, and from 18 to 20, so his 3 years with Seattle, okay? He was top 10 in points, all right? Also ranking 9th in EPA per game. So that's just a little nugget. Here goes another nugget. In his 3 seasons in Seattle, he was 6th in run play rate, okay, and 8th in play action rate. So he's going to run the ball. They're going to run play action off of it. What do we hear thrown around right now? What's the hot word and the buzzword thrown around right now? It's 12 personnel. For those of you guys who don't know, 12 personnel is just one running back on the field, 2 tight ends. Now, you could flank them. You could offset them. You could have one as an H-back, but it's just one running back, 2 tight ends. Now, here's the trick. When you're running 12 personnel or you're running groupings that you want to show a true, maybe under center, true hard play action, those types of things, right? You better have guys who can block but can also get out in the route. Now, the interesting thing that I heard Brian Schottenheimer said was he ran pro-style schemes at Michigan, but you forget that he's a 4.5 athlete. Now, go do the homework. When Dalton Schultz first came in the league, when he was at Stanford, I said he can be somebody who can possibly replace Witten. I think his growth was stunning because Witten just wouldn't get off the field. And by the way, Schoonmaker actually reached out to Jason Witten, so that's really cool that he really understands the lineage and wants to get better and all that type of stuff. But I felt this way about Schultz. Now, initially the pick is like, okay, we're drafting a blocking tight end, has a good athletic profile, but what's the plan? 12 personnel with him and Ferguson, now it makes sense. 12 personnel with Hendershot, we got to be honest, towards the end of the year, I remember the Titans game for sure, the Jags game, not really an inline player, not really a great blocker, not really physical, can stretch the field, but not really physical, and so that kind of hurts. And really, the mental aspect kind of was a little much for him. Now we insert Luke Schoonmaker, who, again, high praise for the player, and you see some things on film when you add that 4-5 to what this Cowboys team already has. Because we got to remember, if he's in 12 personnel, the one option is CeeDee Lamb. The two option is Brandon Cooks. The 3-4 option, Tony Pollard, run game, Deuce Vaughn, whoever's in there. The fifth option is your tight ends, Fergie, right? Schoonmaker. I'm going to say this right now. His high-end comp could be Mark Andrews. Just watching the film, watching how physical he is. You got to remember, Mark Andrews coming out wasn't supposed to be this amazing tight end. Kittle coming out wasn't supposed to be this amazing tight end. But when you have a guy who will give up his body in the run game, and you heard Schottenheimer say, control the C-gap. Let's look at this run right here. One of my favorite plays. All right, now this is against Jack Campbell. Now look at him. All right, little outside zone pin pull action. See the guard, that tackle, was that 77, that tackle wrapping around, boom, boom. All right, stand him up, extend, and then Blake Corum does a good job finishing that run. Let's watch another play here. That this is what you need in the run game. Let's watch this play here. Again, C-gap. Now, he has a kind of like a wide 9-7 technique. Boom. And he's still able to set the edge. Now, Blake didn't get much on that run, but he's still able to set the edge. But what does that do? Now he's inline, boom. He can sneak out, corner route, little levels concept. Touchdown. All right, so this is the detailed plan for me when it comes to Luke Schoonmaker. Run game, run game, run game. You forget about him, he hits the seams. I think that this Cowboys team has a more definitive plan of who they want to be. Run the ball, play physical on offense, play action, and really put the game on the opposing offense to beat our defense, which I think our defense is going to be a top 5 defense next year. Run the ball, play action, safe, high percentage throws with our quarterback. Put the ball in our defense. Put the game on our defense to run. It's so crazy. Talking about the rookies, I really forgot how good Sam Williams was last year. Still got DeMarcus Lawrence, who's a dog against the run. Still Micah Parsons. This is going to be a fun year. I think that Schoonmaker, the pick now makes more and more sense as the days go on and as you hear the coordinators and the coaching and people who really know football talk about the player. It's your boy Foots. Let me know what you guys think. Is Mark Andrews too high of a comp for him? I think that he could be, especially with the way that he run blocks. It's your boy Foots. Peace.